Now, Megan, you said what a nice birthday treat. I have to agree with you. It would have been a bit sort of quite sad, I think, if we hadn't have had a cat for Wild Earth's birthday. So at least we've managed to pull through over here. But what a beautiful looking cat. He, like I said, straight away as I was coming in, whether it's because he hasn't groomed himself, I'm not certain, but his rosettes look very close together, which creates quite a dark sort of pattern on him, which is lovely. But he doesn't have big ears. He doesn't have too many dark markings around his face. So I'm trying to work out how I'm going to start to identify him first go. Now, of course, it's easy to tell with their spot patterns when you can see their faces, but normally that's not the case. When you see a leopard moving, the first thing you aren't able to do is to zoom up close onto their face. Normally they've got their bottoms towards you, or they're slinking through the long grass. So I always look for signs other than just the spot pattern. And like I said, to me, he's relatively small. He's not particularly large, and he's just very dark in color. But he actually looks a bit untidy. I don't know if you all agree with me, but even just looking down to his paws, it doesn't look like he's done a bit of grooming for quite some time. Young man, you are looking very untidy. Louise is directing today, of course. Louise says that it's just because he's got fluffy fur. That is not an excuse. Even if you've got your winter woolies on, you've got to keep that coat looking slick and clean all the time. Grooming is very, very important for cats, for dogs. Dogs don't seem to do it as much, though. The wild dogs don't seem to groom themselves meticulously, just like the lions and leopards do. But you've got to make sure that you keep all the parasites at bay. Otherwise, you'll find yourself with a bit of an infestation. He must be saving up on some sleep for some long 3-week 24/7 mission that he's going to be going on, because he's barely moved an inch. He is having the best time of his life right now, and I'm trying to be as excited as I can about a leopard sleeping. But once you've been sitting and watching it for 20 minutes, it is, of course, very, very difficult. But I don't blame him. He does need to recuperate. I'm sure that he was exceptionally busy last night searching for something to eat, and especially when you have many failed attempts, I think it must be quite disheartening. So I don't think only is he tired, he could also be, well, his ego could be slightly bruised as well, and that's maybe why he's just resting up. Now, I've been watching the water very, very carefully as Vutomi is facing the other way. I have not seen one terrapin pop up. I reckon he's completely eradicated every single terrapin that used to live in the Cheetah Plains pan. They do not exist anymore. Terrapins cannot hold their breaths for that long that they don't pop their little nostrils out the water. And I just think that that's quite interesting to see. And I wouldn't mind going to check all the other pans to see if the same thing has happened, if he has very kindly snatched all the terrapins up. Hey, boy? No, not interested. But I just actually can't believe how little he is. He's a very small leopard. I don't think he's going to be particularly big. Maybe he will be... Who have we seen that's not huge? Oh, we're lucky. We've actually got big leopards. Mvula's quite big. Tingana's big. We'll just have to wait and see. But I don't think he's going to be huge. I don't think he's going to be Anderson male huge. Maybe he'll be the size of the resident male down in the southern sector of the Sabi Sands and Sabi, like Mashabeni. He's not huge. Sometimes when he's full, he's got a dewlap, but normally he doesn't. Now, Julie... Looking at his pink nose, you're wondering if that nose is going to turn... Kelly, not Julie. Sorry, Kelly. If his nose will turn completely black in time. Most likely, however, we've seen it with Shadow, who's an older girl, and her nose hasn't gone completely black at all. So it just depends again on genetics. Most of the time it will, and then it often starts to fade again with age. But we'll just have to wait and see, really. I think it will. Like I said, majority of the leopard's noses go completely black. Maybe he has a bit of pigmentation there, which could cause it to look a bit pink. So that could be another thing that would happen, but I'm not too certain. Actually, he's a bit difficult to see now. You can just sort of see a little bit of his nose, but it's starting to go quite dark. Just a bit of pink in the middle, but the outside of it is definitely changing color. He's still quite young, and I'd love to see him up and moving around so I can get an idea of his personality. But today is not my day, and hopefully, young man, I get to see you all, or get to see this boy again. But we're going to move on from him now, and hopefully he'll be here for this afternoon's Sunset Safari. Byron has got The Scavengers of the Sky.